is the best part of my day.
Nope, scratch that. Reverse.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Recording.
I said the word, what are the boundaries for pod? And you said, I'm going to start recording.
I said, we're diving in. And I said, you said, what's the safe word? And I said, let's fucking go.
You said, I'm coming.
I said, I'm coming right now. Yeah, exactly. No. Yeah. Well, I guess we're just rolling, because I'm not going to talk about anything in any great detail.
Yeah,
but I will
so
say that I got
now. Go on.
nothing. I'm not gonna talk about anything in any great detail. I am gonna say that, I think we both kind of started the year getting rock bottomed, getting the people's elbow dropped on us by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Got a Hulk Hogan leg drop. We just really got laid out pretty hard flat at the beginning of this year. And so, we didn't watch a whole movie for this podcast this month.
No, because what we were thinking, not that we can't, that's a double negative, but we can always change our minds with the Julias, at least at this point, because we're only at, I think, 15% to 20% Julia saturated out of the 100% saturation point of all Julia's work ever made. I think according to Letterboxd, it's like you've watched 20% of all Julia Roberts projects.
Yeah, not including her various television appearances.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I think we've watched, having only watched films so far, and for the better part of 9-10 episodes, I think we're making a cut. We're on our way.
We were going to do Eat, Pray, Love, but then it just wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time.
It just wasn't the right time to eat or pray or love.
It was almost too much of the right time. It was too much of the right time in that it wasn't the right time for you all. Maybe it's something that we can do on our own. We can do our own Eat, Pray, Love and then come back and reflect for you. But I don't think in the moment. I think while we're eating and we're praying and we're loving, I don't think, we need to go there. Not necessarily that I'm going through anything significant.
No.
I did have sex with a cisgender man, which is the first time in my sobriety. First time since...
You also had sex with the novel coronavirus.
I did, yes.
You got intimate with the novel coronavirus.
This is the second time that I've had a hookup and then gotten COVID immediately from it. I think there's a punishing God, and I think this is evidence of it.
God is speaking to you. God is speaking.
When I have...
It's time to open up your ears. It's time to listen.
When I have gay sex, it's like, hey, actually, here's COVID. It does not want... Yeah, it wants me to be pure and alone and squirrely and incel behavior.
Yeah, God wants you to be an incel.
I really think if it's a he, him, God, this he, him, God wants me to be an incel. This he, him punishing God, this Catholic God is doing exactly how Catholic God behaves. I don't believe in Catholic God.
Our God is an awesome God.
Our God is an awesome God. My God is starting to show signs of being a Catholic God, and I don't believe in a Catholic God, so it's pretty frustrating because I'm like, I want a good one. I want to.
You're having kind of a trad cath God. Your God is kind of returning to the old ways, rejecting modernity.
Yeah, the whole coquette return to Catholicism aesthetic. Yeah, but for me, I got COVID. You got.
I got. What happened to me is I basically lost a week of my life. It's kind of like I just kind of fell into a portal for a week, and I just lost it. It's gone. I don't have it. The week is gone. You know what I mean? And
it was,
and that week would have contained some valuable Eat, Pray, Love watching time. And that did not. But
that's not the right time. That is not the right time to do that.
We did not conjure. I did not eat, pray, or love in that 1 week span.
You don't eat, pray, and love when you're put in the eat, pray, love situation. You're supposed to just sort of be. But I will say, and we've said this off pod, but you've been bouncing back in an impressive way, unexpectedly.
Thank you. It's sheer force of will. It's a real it's a real, sorry, listening audience, if this is not interesting to you because I'm not sharing any juicy details of my life, but it's kind of like a, you don't get to take little kisses away from me. I deserve to find them where I choose. You don't get to just wake up one morning and take that away from me.
It was confusing because, like, it just felt like the writers were like, well, it doesn't really fit the brand for Kevin to have, like, a happy ending right now. So...
Oh, my God. Tell me about it. It's like when you're watching New Girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they finally,
and,
like, end
there will
up
be, like,
with, like, good partners, and they're, like, settled.
There'll be 3 or 4 episodes where we're so into who Nick is dating right now. They have, like, a whole arc. They're making commitments to each other. And then, like, the next episode, suddenly Olivia Munn is like, never mind.
That's literally, yeah. Yeah, and it's been an interesting...
It was just like, and why did Olivia Munn do that? And they're like, she only had a 4-episode contract. She couldn't stick around any longer.
And it's been interesting because it put me in a situation where I became just, like, aggressively, immediately homophobic. And as everyone knows, I am openly...
Well, you're one of the great homos.
I'm one of the great homos. But the situation that Kevin fell into made me incredibly homophobic.
And really, honestly, that homophobia was so curing for me. It was so healing
To have the
to
gayest
hear
person
that.
you know be like, I hate gay people now.
Yes, it was honestly so... It's just really nice to, like, say something and you're like, this is frustrating, right? And then everyone goes, yeah, that's frustrating. And you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a situation where if we went in, we would be canceled if we complained
We'd be
about
canceled.
it. So
Yes.
we can't. We can't complain about the circumstances because it is a important... Everyone in the picture is doing their eat, pray, love thing. But friend to friend, I became incredibly homophobic after...
When eat, pray, loving goes wrong.
When eat, pray, loving goes
What
wrong.
happens when you eat, pray, and love too hard?
Yeah. Yeah. And the writers...
When you take eating, praying, and loving too far?
I mean, I will say they got me. That's kind of like what writing is all about. The writers being the powers that be that write our silly little lives for other people's enjoyment. Yes. Like, they fooled me. They put you on a vacation where you were having a good time and things were going good. And it was like, things are finally going good for Kevin. And I could finally rest and sleep well. And then it was like, boom, 2024. Next season.
Yeah.
Season
They
opener.
wrote me off the show, and it's like, oh, is he just gonna, like, go have a happy ending? That's nice. I'll miss that character, but, like, that's
Gregged you.
nice that
Yeah.
he just gets to, like, yeah, Greg. I got Gregged. And, unfortunately, like Greg, I came crawling back.
You're too much
to
of
the
a fan
show. I had to-
favorite. Yeah. You're too much of a fan
Yeah.
favorite. They wanted you back in your little I'm just in New York just trying to find love vibe. They're like, you cannot write
Absolutely.
a rom-com. You cannot be writing these things, Kevin, and have it all. You have
No,
to.
afraid not. Yeah, great material. It's going back in the rom-com script when I'm done. When I'm done with this book, the first draft of this book that I'm working on, it's back to the rom-com minds, and a lot of great new material. Really, just like we can really juice this thing up. There's a lot more we can play with. There's a lot more we can work with now. I did mention Crazy Ex-Girlfriend on a date this weekend. Normally, I have a do not bring up that you have a podcast or two on a date rule. It's just never something that anyone is looking for. Actually,
I found that people are kind of curious about it, but I'm always very like, there are no metrics on my end. Like all of it, like my co-host is the one that's kind of doing that and in it and in those spaces, and I have no idea who watches or listens, and I have no attachment to anybody. I'm trying, like I posted on my own stuff.
And in that you have peace.
Yes. So it's not, I'm like, it is cringe, but it's also, I guess, not cringe. It's more if you want to hear how I talk to my closest friends, what it's like to frame a conversation with my closest friends. now here's a snippet of it. But like, yeah.
Yeah.
You brought up
wild.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend on a date.
Yes, specifically the song A Diagnosis. And then, you know, and the vibe felt right that I could then broach, oh yeah, I used to have a podcast where we talked about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And that felt okay for once to invoke that the fact that I have a podcast or two on a date, and it wouldn't just like she wouldn't immediately grab her coat. You know what I mean? Like, just
there is taking the seat as a cis dude saying that you have a podcast, where that's just immediately kind of like,
that's not interesting. Who cares about that?
not just not interesting, but it's like beige to red flag. It's in that sort of like salmon pink color territory.
Yeah.
Where you're
I've
like,
just encountered on dating apps like more than once someone saying no cops, no podcasters. Those are the two groups that are not welcome.
that's really funny.
We are the most persecuted group.
I would, yeah. It's hard.
None
to be
more
you.
persecuted than we.
And I'm all in now. I'm homophobic, and I am in your court. I'm like, you go through the worst of it. That's sort of a joke, sort of not a joke, but where did I go? I'm still having COVID brain, which sucks. It makes me feel stupid. I had like first contact with humans yesterday, and I tried to see friends.
Well, I got good news for what you're up to tonight.
What do you mean?
You're going to be seeing friends.
Yes. Oh, F.R.I.E.N.D.S. I'm dyslexic, so that was actually incredibly impressive for me.
That was really good. I don't know if I'd be able to do that.
I used to be a cheerleader, and it was difficult because I was dyslexic.
Because you kept trying to spell friends. And they're like, no, you're supposed to spell West Side High or Cougars. You're supposed to spell Cougars, and you kept spelling friends.
Like, anytime we had to spell anything out loud, I was just, like, kind of mouthing the consonants, just hoping. I'm, like, just sort of, like, kind of like a puppet, just opening my mouth up and down, like, pretending like sounds coming out, because I did not know. I could not spell in that moment that quickly. I have no idea how football works either. As a cheerleader, I have no idea how the sport. I've tried.
That would probably hurt. I guess you don't really have
The
to.
captains
You're
have
not
to.
calling the game.
The captains need to know and need to be kind of like cute and fun about it, because they need to kind of anticipate what kind of cheer you're doing. Sometimes it's specific to the play that's at hand.
Yeah.
But the captain calls out the cheer, like, we're doing ball fight. And then you go, yeah.
Oh,
Hey, we got the ball
classic
fight.
cheer.
We got the Rams in the ball fight. The Rams go Rams. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and that's well, I'm glad that we can, you know, kind of bring this. We had that flashback to your past, as it like Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and this is how Kat knows how to spell friends, because of their time on the cheerleading squad. But yes, any listener who somehow doesn't know what we're doing, can't read the title of the episode or anything like that. In lieu of watching Eat, Pray, Love to begin our year, we decided to do something much easier, something new for our show. We're going to be A, watching some television, and B, it's not television that we've seen already. We're going to be watching it live and talking over it for you, our beautiful listening audience. We're going to be doing the first Run the Julia's commentary track. If you want more commentary tracks after this, give us some money. It's something I'm willing to do more of. But for now, we're just going to be watching Julia Roberts' appearance on the TV show Friends. Ever heard of it? Friends, very big plot point in Leave the World Behind.
I was gonna say that.
So-
When you said that, I was like, this is gonna come up on pod, and I'm not sure how, and I hope in a cool way. But that's crazy. Oh, you're gone now. Bye, Kevin. I'm on my own. And okay, you're back.
Sorry.
I realized that when opening Friends, and I was like, wait, that means that the little girl, she
Saw Julia Roberts on Friends.
saw her mom on Friends, but her mom's not, and it just kind of like brings the whole Julia verse together, and I think that's really crazy and kind of funny.
I think that's beautiful. Time to unite the Julias, and that's what we're gonna do here today. So yes, listening audience, we are going to be watching Season 2, Episodes 12 and 13. The One After the Super Bowl, Parts 1 and 2. Julia might only be in Part 2. We'll find out. Just a fun little fact about these episodes before we press play. These are the 2 most watched episodes of Friends of all time. This is the highest rated episodes of Friends, which was itself a very popular television program. And the reason they were so popular is because they aired after the Super Bowl, as the episode titles might lead you to believe.
Are the Chiefs in the playoffs right now?
Oh, you're asking the wrong guy. I can tell you the Super Bowl is February 11th because I looked it up for scheduling this episode. I want to say yes.
I just think that's kind of amazing.
That Taylor Swift is still in the playoffs.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, how did she know to hitch her wagon all the way to the playoffs?
It'll be so nuts when they win this year.
Yeah.
And it will be undeniable that it was the Taylor Swift influence. There's nothing else you can say.
Yeah, because I don't really know how you, win sport. It's just, yeah.
It's not your world.
No, but it's confusing when you're like, yeah, this team can win, because you're like, it's just people it's theater. It's like putting theater against theater, but also it's sports. It's improv.
So
It's
so true.
Football is yes and.
Yeah, it's true. If I snap the football, then, what happens?
Mm-hmm.
If yes and I will catch it and I will throw it.
But there, I guess.
Or yes and.
I guess there's a
we will
level
do
of
sack.
group synergy where you kind of do know the group mind. You kind of can anticipate each other's whatever, but still, it is still in the
Yes.
moment. It's still theater. It's sports.
Absolutely. So true. So I have pulled up the episode up at 0 seconds.
Great.
And I would encourage you and any listeners that want to follow us along to do the same thing. I hope this will be good listening, even if you're not sitting down to watch 2 episodes of Friends with us. And I think we're about to have a gay old time. Can't tell you the last time I watched Friends.
I definitely haven't watched it since Matthew passed, so that's going to be hard.
Of course.
I think I was the age of the girl in Leave the World Behind. I was like 12 or 13 when I was really, really into Friends and watched it to escape like a horrible family vacation, extended family vacation with the Bush family in Maine, famously where they have their little like peninsula, Kennebunkport, Walker's Point. They have like closed off all to Secret Service, and it's this sort of like tourist destination. It was one of those summers, I think, where I started watching Friends on like a little DVD player, alone in my room as much as possible. And then I had a friend who's now like a pretty popular comedian, alt comedian in LA, who's also maybe a sociopath. And I thought he seemed a lot like Chandler Bing, and it's because he like stole a lot of his personality from Chandler as a tween.
Of course.
So that's my connection to Friends. Is I like was very, of all of them, I was attached most to the Chandler, and I found myself drawn to like the Chandler of any friend group whenever I yeah, Friends.
Hence why you're here right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a little young to have been in like the Friends wave when it was happening. I definitely remember watching the finale live just because it seemed like a major event, and I loved television, and I didn't have a lot of channels. So the Friends finale was happening, and I definitely watched that live. I had no context for what was going on or who these people were, but I knew people were excited for the last episode of Friends. And that's I've seen probably a decent amount of this show. It used to be, playing reruns all the time. But I've never sat down to like watch it. I've never queued it up on a streaming service. You know what I mean? Just not my show.
My mom, apparently, when she was in labor with me for 30 hours and I was 2 weeks late, so I was really not excited about coming into this world for good reason. And I guess Friends was playing, like marathon playing in the background. It was like
Wow.
in syndication.
You were born to Friends.
I was born to Friends, so that it felt significant when I
Wow.
was in middle school. But then, as you and I both know, living in New York is nothing like this world of Friends. So
Not these crazy friends.
it did not follow me into my adult life at all. Yeah.
Dang. All right, so I got them subbies on. All right, so I got the episode queued up. You got the epi queued up?
Yes.
All right, then we are going to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Instrumental music.
Now this sounds exactly like the Roseanne theme song, and I wish I was watching Roseanne instead.
Do you think this is going to turn into the monkey scene from Nope?
I hope so. Gordy's home. Also, I'm pretty sure the voiceover guy is the same guy that voices Winnie the Pooh.
Aw, I loved Winnie the Pooh growing
I
up.
think that's Jim Cummings. There's our friends. Is this when they adopt the monkey?
I don't remember
Oh
anything.
no, they already had the monkey according to the lore.
I think I wanted to be the Phoebe of the friend group. I think if I was like, if I have to perform...
You're a very natural Phoebe.
Yeah, I think that was sort of my, like, vibe for whenever I was typecasted or put in situations. I was very Phoebe. And I think people thought I looked in the Rachel universe, but I definitely acted more as a Phoebe.
No, you're 100% Phoebe from this cast. And like a smarter Joey.
Thank you. I want to be aesthetically Joey. I want to kind of
Yeah.
bring to parties, I want to bring a Chandler sense of humor. But I think kind of my default, my personality higher vibe is Phoebe.
Absolutely. And I think, the perfect person really blends the 6 key components of the last Airbender. You control the Phoebe and the Ross and the
Yeah,
Rachel.
and astrology.
You can bend any elements.
In astrology, I'm a Joey. I'm a Phoebe rising.
Yeah.
I'm like a Joey Venus. And I'm a Rachel rising, maybe?
Sure.
And then
sure,
a
sure,
Phoebe
sure.
sun and a Phoebe moon. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a base Chandler.
definitely.
But I feel like there's some Monica in me.
There's definitely
just
some.
being
I
a
would say you're a
little-
Monica Moon for sure. Moon is like sort of the emotional world, and I
Yeah.
feel like you're definitely emotionally
Gotcha.
a Monica.
I think so.
Which she used to stress me out as a kid. I was like, she is very like adult. Like she's just like her issues and her
Yes.
thoughts and her feelings are very like what adults think about. She's definitely somebody who played house in like preschool and kindergarten. I never played house. I always wanted to be the dog. Like I did not understand why are we playing house.
Honestly, that's the best gig in the house.
I was like, who's the animal? Like I want to be the pet dog, the pet cat. Like I hated anything maternal. I also didn't want to do the dad thing because I was like, I don't know what dads do. My dad's always gone.
Yeah, of course. Right. Dads are, well, if you're playing house and you're doing your dad, it's like, well, see you guys.
Exactly. Apparently, I was that kid that when they would be like, draw your family, I would always draw dad in a plane. He was
Oh, brutal.
he was always, and then they would be like, me and Alex and my mom and my dog. And dad's traveling.
Wow. That's incredible. Kid drawings are the deepest form of psychology.
This guy's kind of hot, Rob Donnan.
This Rob Donnan fella, I want to see what he's up to. I was thinking, honestly, kind of the same thing about Lisa Kudrow. You ever notice how attractive Lisa Kudrow is?
I like go back and forth. I do need to revisit the show Feel Good, which Mae Martin brings up a lot because it's their like auteur beautiful piece or whatever, and she plays the mom in that. I also want to watch The Comeback again because I remember I watched The Comeback,
Yes.
and she was really good in that.
Absolutely. She's very funny. She was kind of the friend that got absorbed into like the larger comedy community, between stuff like The Comeback or like Kimmy Schmidt. It felt like Lisa Kudrow was the one that everyone was like, we all agree she has like real comedic chops even by pretentious comedy nerd standards.
Yeah, she plays serious in a funny way. Like when yeah. She's a very
And she has
needed
levels.
type.
There's layers that she can play. There's different archetypes.
Oh, the boys, by the way, in the scene, they're going through something. I don't know what it is, but the stakes are
don't know.
high. People are laughing.
Not really absorbing the friends. Also, them shutting their apartment door stressed me out. I'm like, they just locked themselves out.
Yeah, I know that was a scene in Friends, like, got the keys? And it was like, no, you said got the keys. Got the keys? I don't remember what episode.
Every
Obviously.
moment of my life, I'm checking the keys.
I have a tile on my key so that I can find it.
Love that.
This is actually
Brooke Shields.
Brooke Shields. This is a really interesting exercise in ADHD for me. Potting, watching, talking.
Yeah.
I will finish.
I think you're doing great so far.
Maybe this is the way my brain works, but
I
also
think this is your future.
this is definitely an example of one of our pods
Oh,
where I'm
fuck.
gonna listen back and I'm gonna find stuff that I didn't find before. That's the guy from all the.
That's Fred Willard.
yeah.
He's in oh, man,
All the Christopher
RIP.
Guests. Oh,
Yes.
he passed.
A few years ago, I think. One of the fucking funniest people to ever live, Fred Willard.
Yeah.
Ah, Fred. Fred. I love him. He, not that this is his enduring legacy, he, much like Pee Wee Herman, got caught jerking off in a porno theater.
Oh.
But everyone
wasn't
really
gay.
came to his aid. Everyone really came to his
Yeah,
side.
'cause he wasn't
They were like,
gay
what
about
else
it."
are those for?
They were like, you weren't doing it in a gay way, so they're
Yeah.
fine.
No homo.
He was like, yeah, I was doing it in a strictly perverted way, and they're like, that's totally fine.
We are fine with a little normal perversion. Wow, there are real animals in the background of this scene on Friends.
Yeah,
There's like a real orangutan
Where-
on the set of Friends.
This is a very monkey themed episode.
I'm loving that.
I guess-
I love an ape.
There was probably something plot wise that got us from A to B to C with the monkey in the zoo, but I just missed it.
Honestly, look at these fits that our friends are rocking.
It is interesting how many cameos are in shows like this, but it still exists in a universe where celebrities are celebrities, and you kind of have to pick
Right.
and choose, like, who's a celebrity and who's a character.
Yes.
Sitcoms are
And
crazy
like
for
when
that.
Brad Pitt was on the show, I don't remember if he was playing Brad Pitt.
Is that how he and Jenny Aniston, is that how they got together, or were they together and that's why he came on?
That's an excellent question that I don't have the answer to, but it is one of those.
I wish I was gay enough, but like old school gay enough to know. Ooh, I love this fit. She's
The moose
definitely, yeah, Phoebe definitely gives she, they.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, she's like, gender, it's whatever. I'll do this for now, is what I
Wow.
get from her.
I am growing a massive crush on young Lisa Kudrow. It's real. This will take over.
She's
the rest of
definitely
my life.
she's definitely in your like pocket. Like when I think
Oh,
about
yeah.
Rachel Bloom and then think of her, definitely same universe.
That's definitely the pocket. That's definitely that 8-ball's going in the corner pocket. 100%.
I want to point out, if we still see it, there's a really weird cutout like policeman in the background.
Okay.
this.
Keep my eyes peeled for the police, as I always am.
ACAB.
ACAB.
How do you feel about people putting ACAB in their Tinder bios?
It means nothing. It's just performative. I get that we're trying, you don't want anyone that won't align with your political values, but I think it's the same thing as putting a black square on your Instagram.
I also, like, recently, I'm really resisting putting anywhere in my bio any of my frustrations of other people's bios because I hate when other people are petty about it. But I am starting to get,
Yes.
like, overwhelmed by this option on one of the dating apps field that says hetero flexible. And I just kind of want to
Hate that.
yell. I kind of want to
Get it away from me.
scream so loudly every time I see it in public, anywhere. What the fuck does hetero flexible mean? What does
That's
that mean?
an old one that we're bringing back. That's a Friends era term of like, well, I'm straight, but I might, if I have too many drinks, I might make out with a fella.
I just have zero idea how I'm supposed to engage. I'm pretty sure like all of those people probably haven't matched with me because I'm like, does that include non-binary people, or what does that include in your brain? Like what?
Yeah, you're right. There's it's actually a bad term. Get it out of there. Put it back in the 90s where it belongs.
Okay, how did Joey get this date with, oh, she's so funny, Brooke Shields, throwing her head back in revelry?
Is it real Brooke Shields, or is it a character Brooke Shields is portraying?
I think it's a character. Oh, because
Yeah,
he's
it's
a hand
definitely
model?
not Brooke Shields.
Yeah. Is she a fan of
Is
his
he a
hand model?
Or is he playing a doctor on TV and she's like obsessed with...
Do you think Quentin
Wow.
Tarantino directed this scene?
But Quentin Handantino. You know, the good Quentin Tarantino who loves hands. Okay, yes. Joey is on a soap opera. And she thinks that the soap opera is real, I guess?
And there's something going on with monkeys. And he's
There's
chilling.
something going on with the monkeys. That is Dan Castellaneta, voice of Homer Simpson.
Wow. I want to
That's
know.
Homer.
I wanna
Homer's on Friends.
I want to see his architectural digest. I want to see what his home looks like.
Oh, massive. It must be like a city block.
Yeah, voice of Homer. What is his home
Voice of
like?
Homer and many other beloved characters for nearly 40 years.
I'm about to go down a research hole that is not really necessary.
Yeah, hold on. Dan Castellaneta house.
Is he a Taurus? What is his sign?
These are important.
Dan Castellaneta. Birthday, October 29th. Oh, he's a Scorpio.
According to the LA Times, he owns a $3.05 million home. Right
Okay.
on the ocean.
That's-
Looks beautiful.
3.5 million. Well, on the ocean, fabulous.
Exactly. It's, you know, it looks tasteful, Dan, and I'm happy for
3.5
you.
is actually a pretty like conservative number
modest.
for Maybe he has like a ranch or something.
He's probably got multiple casas.
Homer
And maybe,
Ranch.
you know, maybe that's all. Maybe Casa Castellaneta, that's all he needs, you know?
You know what makes me really happy? He's had the same spouse since the 80s.
Hell yeah, King. And then, so that means she got with him like before Homer money, you know?
Yeah.
He was just an LA comedian.
And I kind of want to, somehow find my way into that corner of the sky.
You want to be a Mrs. Castellaneta? You
Yeah,
want
I
to
wanna
break up the
detransition.
Castellaneta marriage? I want to cuck Mrs. Castellaneta.
I would do that. Also, for anyone listening, like, I would say probably like 70% of our listeners, whatever couple you're in, I'm down to come in and spice things up.
You know, I think you just made one listener's day. I think the
DM
listener's going to have a very big talk with their partner later.
DM me, DM, if you're too shy, DM TV's Kevin Lanigan. And
Yeah, and I'll pass it on.
we'll set something up because I do enjoy that activity. And I am thinking about branching into more OnlyFans content.
Love that.
But I don't know how. So more will be revealed. But I don't take hetero flexible couples. I'm sorry. Because I don't know
No,
what that means.
it's a line, and I think it's an okay one to draw. No cops, no podcasters, no hetero flexibility. The monkey was stolen, Kat.
You believe everything the zoo tells you?
I do. If a zoo tells me an animal fact, I take it to heart.
Yeah.
We love the zoo, don't we, folks?
I actually waffle back and forth between loving the zoo and being stressed out by the zoo.
It's a very complicated issue. It provides a lot of, obviously, like, preservation for animals, but
Yes.
yeah, I do also, it's hard for me to look at, like a cage with an animal in it. I'm like, that also bums me out a little bit. It's
like
both things.
That's a pretty small cage for an opossum.
Yeah. And that's just like I know they have like back areas, you know, like that door back there opens up and that's where they go like at night. But you know, still, that's a tough row to hoe. Also, why is there a possum in the zoo?
Yeah.
Who's going to the zoo to see the possum?
They just want they want a contained environment for the possum. They're like, we want this to be on our terms, not your terms.
We gotta make sure this little critter is still, you know, we can preserve their species. We can keep the possum race going.
Well, also when you see a possum, you know, it's them. It's on their terms. They're doing their thing. With a zoo, you get to be the dom and you get to observe them, which is gross, but how zoos work.
Yeah. You know, I'm a big possum supporter. I don't fuck with them. I let them live their lives. They just showed an establishing shot of the New York City Public Library with the lions outside. Am I supposed to understand that they are inside that building right now?
I think, yes. It looks like they're in, like, the children's room or something.
That's insane. They don't do anything in that library. There's no books in there.
Ooh, yay, songs. I want to... I do have my grandpa's guitar here, just out of frame, even though this is a audio medium. And I will strum it once my room is put in place.
Good.
I will strum it, and I might go into my Phoebe era, but in LA.
Wow. I love that. LA West Coast Phoebe.
Look at all of these
Both coasts must have one for balance.
boring tones. Like they're
very just brown. It's brown in here, which honestly maybe feels accurate to like these dudes' apartment, you know?
yeah, but just like a very earthy costume design. Erica, not Brooke Shields.
Wow, he's going for another round with Brooke Shields after all that.
So her whole thing is
This
she
is
thinks he's
pretty privilege.
She thinks he's a real doctor. But yeah, that's
guess
actually the
so.
thesis of this episode is pretty privilege. You can be crazy if you're pretty.
You know, if Brooke Shields licked my hand on date 1, there probably would be a date 2. Who am I lying to, you know? Yeah, she has trouble distinguishing fiction from reality. Although that is something that used to happen to real soap opera actors.
Really?
You know, they would get like shit thrown on them in public because of what their character did.
That's really funny.
It's very funny.
I guess that was sort of Draco Malfoy's journey. There's quite a few villains of our lifetime that have been like, I stopped enjoying acting because of how people treated me.
Yes, that actually a very common story, I think.
How can you be here and there?
Oh no, she really doesn't understand. This is wild. She's unwell.
I don't really get. Yeah, I'm with Rachel here. Kind of like
They're keeping
Are we
they're
doing the
keeping
bit?
kayfabe. They're
Yeah.
deciding to do a soap opera because that's the only language she understands.
they're
They're having fun.
having fun. Yeah, I would do this.
Yeah, come on.
I would do a bit like
It's
this.
just a little water. Everybody's drinking water. That's fine.
You did a bit on a date recently. What was the bit? Was the bit the date? You're like, let's do.
Yes, we had most of our DMs had been about committing to bits to the extent of personal and financial ruin, and we decided to call the date a bit, and we committed to the bit by going on the date.
Yeah. Was it? How did you stay in character? How did you stay in the bit?
We did it's very tough to stay, you know, committed to a bit for that long, but you know, I managed to do it as a method actor.
You didn't just leave the date when you're like, this is too hard. I don't believe.
Yeah,
I don't
I broke
believe in
character
it.
between takes. That's everybody.
They're matching.
They're matching. I love that shirt on both of them.
Yeah,
I
have
said
like,
it about one, and then I meant it for both.
I have like a navy version of the corduroy shirt. No one cares.
I love that. I gotta get me a corduroy shirt.
Carhartt has like a work. Also, Madewell Men Uniqlo.
I know I got options.
Uniqlo,
Oh, Uniqlo
probably.
is the fucking place to get yourself a corduroy
I
shirt.
fucking love that place.
Uniqlo does miracles for somewhat affordable fashion that looks good and is pretty comfortable.
I think the way that Banana Republic used to be,
Yeah.
Uniqlo kind
Uniqlo's
of
got
made
it now.
way better. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, little do you know, David Schwimmer, a virus did take Manhattan.
Just like the Muppets.
She's booked and blessed. Look at all these gigs.
Yeah, she's playing gigs all over the city.
Oh my god! Did you ever see Sister Sister?
No.
He was a little brother in Sister Sister.
Aw. The brother of Sister Sister.
Yeah, he was. He was
Oh,
like
do
the
the kids
bonus
love her?
Jonas.
Aw.
Fans. This is how you build a fan base, people.
Absolutely.
Gay rights. Oh my god.
Fair enough.
Wait, this is so progressive.
We're biphobic on this show now.
That was so progressive to sing that for children. Oh my god, I'm
So
so
true.
Phoebe.
Phoebe's and I. Yeah, 100%. We knew it, and I'm glad you're truly realizing it.
This is one of those moments where you're like, yeah, this is LA pretending to be New York. Why do they
Oh,
do
100%.
Why do they
Yeah,
do
this is not New York. This is a studio back lot. You don't get Castellaneta to fly out to New York. What is this, Space Jam 1?
Everybody get up, it's time to slam down. We got a real thing going on. Welcome to the Space Jam. Alright. Come on and jam. We're gonna slam. That's gonna work. It's gonna work. Look at that denim on
That's
denim.
gonna work.
The mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Oh, look at a little monkey. Chandler gave him a dirty look. That's just how the song goes. Joey's doing his part, Chandler. Hey.
Dun, 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 dun. Wow.
Wow.
And look at that bow on story.
Wow. Bow on story, tight 23 minutes. Maybe I like Friends. Maybe Friends is alright. Maybe I've been giving it a bad rap.
So
I'm not gonna like put it on, but if it's on when I'm like in a hotel, you know what I mean?
okay.
You
So
do a lot
where
worse
did
than
where did
Friends.
the Julia Roberts element come?
She's got to be in part 2.
Okay.
Because, of course, we are watching episodes 12 and 13. She must only be in 13.
Here we go.
Rolling in.
Close set. Friends with the monkey.
Okay, we are doing part 2. He's in character.
He's the talent.
He's the talent. He's got a lot on his mind.
What do you think's on his rider besides bananas?
No, it's just bananas.
Should I find the craziest rider that I ever had to retrieve?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go find it. It was for Ashley Graham.
Oh, from Walking Dead?
I don't
No.
know. She's like a model.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of probably Ashley Green.
Ashley Graham is a model. No one told you life was gonna be this way.
We might be slightly out of sync now, you and I, but that's okay.
Oh no.
I'm looking at Lisa Kudrow's credit.
I'll be there for you.
I'll be there for you. There's a great deleted scene on the Blu-ray for Popstar Never Stop, Never Stopping, where all the guests just start going off about the Friends theme song. How it wasn't a real song, it was just a theme song, but it was so popular they made it a real song. By the Rembrandts or whoever. There she is! She's playing a makeup technician.
They made her someone who
Get
hates
it?
actors.
Huh? What if that's it? What if that's Julia's whole bit? Nope. Is she gonna go out with Chandler? Oh, did they kiss in the class play? Oh, no. I was very wrong about where that was going. Are they gonna kiss? Holy shit. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme on TV's Friends. Are you still retrieving the NDA?
Yeah, I can't find it. I can't find the writer. It was crazy,
I love
though.
that Monica's hot for Jean-Claude Van Damme.
The key moment of the writer that I'm looking for is I had to get a specific Manuka honey from Whole Foods in a glass shelf that they keep away from customers. You have to ask someone to unlock it. And of course they didn't use it. Like,
no, of course not. They never do. A lot of that stuff is just for the talent to feel like people are actually reading their writer. You know, the most legendary one being
M&Ms or whatever.
Oh, we need a bowl full of only brown M&Ms. And like the reason that was in, I think, Bon Jovi's writer, maybe Aerosmith, was because, you know, their shows use a lot of pyrotechnics and things, and it could get very dangerous if people weren't reading the instructions. So the brown M&Ms thing is there so they know, oh, the venue did read the papers that we sent them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That is the general thought with writers, but then I think there's also a level of, like, she was pregnant, and it was, like, a very short set, but I guess was, like, I think the hardest part about those sets was, like, how much food waste happened constantly, and it was really expensive food waste. But then they would, like, pinch pennies in other areas. Like, I was being paid minimum wage, like, flat rate. But then, like, there I was throwing away Manuka honey. It just was...
I get it.
Silly.
It's annoying. I was just... Julia Roberts was coming on so aggressively to Chandler Bing.
It must have felt good.
That was the power of Chandler. Must have felt good. No one's asking me how many times do I have to touch your arm before we go on a date. No one's asking that of me. I don't have Chandler's riz.
I haven't seen anybody like that, though. I haven't seen that in the wild.
Yeah, I think that might be made up. Wow.
Van Damme was a plot point in the show Sense8, right? Did you ever see that?
I did not watch the show Sense8.
Okay. Look at that
But Jean-Claude Van
interesting
Damme
shirt.
is a big fixture in my favorite bad action movies to watch on Tubi with ants.
That shirt, there's a lot happening with it.
There's a lot of print.
lot
I'm
of
trying
words.
to figure out. Experience. 3. They're fighting over Jean-Claude Van Damme. Ladies, there's enough JCVD to go around.
Remember when hookup like strictly meant hang out?
Yeah.
I wonder.
And now,
I wonder
now
when
I'm
that
just picturing Ross fucking a bunch of birds.
Yeah, I wonder when that shift like happened. I wonder when it
Yeah.
was like, okay, it actually more often means this than this now.
Right. That's a good question. Hookup culture. I feel like it's probably like early 2000s when they start doing stuff like The Secret, Mystery and The Game and stuff like that. I feel like that's probably when it starts like changing around. Also, there's a background actor in this scene that has the rosiest cheeks of all time. Like a fucking cartoon kid on a box of cookies, rosy cheeks. Holy shit, get it, Chandler. Get it? He's gonna nut. Okay. Starting to think she's not actually super into Chandler, and this might be an elaborate ruse to pay him back for something that happened when they were 11.
It's very queer what's happening.
Honestly, like, if it wasn't an elaborate setup for punishment, it's sexy.
I do enjoy secret having little secret things in public places. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Like remember when I
It's
put
just, it's just the two of you.
remember when I put keys up my coot for no reason for an entire podcast?
Never forget. I'll never forget. And that clip will always be available for public consumption.
Yeah, listen back to our archives. There was a moment for no reason, no real good reason, that I put keys up my coot.
Oh, it's a good reason. It's a
for an entire episode.
No, it wasn't. It was in the middle of an episode, and I do believe they were removed before episodes end.
That's true. Halfway through the episode, but it wasn't communicated that it was there until the episode was over.
An extended period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
and then your keys were just like that.
Yeah, and I like
your keys
forgot
rusted and oxidized.
I forgot to kind of execute the punchline. So then they were kind of just up there, and I was like, what's gonna be the punchline here? How am I gonna take these out in a way that's meaningful?
Yeah, I do seem to have committed to the bit myself into a real corner here, vis-a-vis keys, vis-a-vis cooter.
Coot keys.
Uh-oh.
That sweater looks so itchy. I would never wear it.
Oh, you're talking about, I was thinking the opposite. I'm like, get me in that sweater right now.
No, I am so textually adverse to most sweaters.
That we are opposites.
They're such tiny ladies.
They really are.
There's like no body diversity between the three of them. They're just like tiny white ladies in the 90s. Yeah.
The audience, man, the crowd is going nuts. They're loving this.
They're people cheering. Love when women get physical.
Yeah, I guess in this period of time, the early 90s, that was like, oh, it's so hot when women fight. Oh, it's so... When two chicks are having a cat fight, that just makes me so hot. When two women say Rachel and Monica are fighting over action superstar Jean-Claude Van Damme's affection, it just makes me so hot.
And then Phoebe's just sort of like vibing as like a sort of witchy art teacher.
Yeah. Man. Phoebe, DM me.
Yeah. I was hoping that would be the joke.
It would be that his wangle's hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was wondering who this woman was. I was wondering who this non-Julia Roberts was. All right, Kat. Someone
Okay.
puts ice in their mouth and
It's the
licks you
same
all
god.
over.
It's the same god. Because this god is prioritizing Chandler Bang for going to a
Yeah.
Catholic high school. So same god as the god that I referred to at the beginning of Ep. Another confirmation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we do have a Catholic god.
Our God is a Catholic.
God,
God he reigns.
What about Ice Cube mouth, body, what?
Well, Julia Roberts just said, I want to put this ice cube in my mouth and lick you all over. Is that sounds uncomfortable to me.
No,
Am
it's
I wrong?
great. I've done it. I enjoy.
Okay.
Anything with ice, great vibes. Ice all around.
All right.
What is happening? I don't.
Haha. This is...
I.
All right, so we're going to have new megawatt superstar Julia Roberts on our television program, Friends. Is this like the best use of your young Julia Roberts as like a known quantity?
Is just doing weird sexual mischief.
Yeah, but I think to a malicious end. Yeah, she's stealing his clothes. I knew it.
Why though?
This is such an elaborate way
Oh.
to pay someone back. I want to be Susie Underpants. Underpants is a fun name to have.
What is your revenge fantasy? Let's stalk some people. What is your this?
I don't think I have a this, which is disappointing. I think I have a separate thing, but if you have a this, I would love to hear it.
I feel like I have a little bit of an equivalent of this. Like I keyed somebody's car once, but it wasn't like 20 years later. It was like 2 weeks later, just so you wouldn't be able to attach the incident that happened or that I perceived happened between us and connect the dots. I wanted there to be enough time away that it would be too random. So I felt like 2 weeks was a good amount of time to key somebody's car in revenge of something that happened.
Right.
Because then you'd be like, where did this come
It
from?
could have been anything.
Yeah.
I can't draw an A to B connection between this and events of earlier today. No way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I feel like it'd be fun. There's some guys that I think it would be fun to do gay sex with now that they were so weird to me when I was a hot girl. I would love for one of them to sneak into my Grindr DMs. I think that would be so fun to be like,
Ooh.
hey, okay, yeah, I kind of knew too. I knew that. I knew, yeah. So that would be fun
Yeah.
to just get the body count up, but out of revenge, because I felt like I
see.
didn't have a lot of agency I felt like they had all the power when I was a girl, a drunk girl. And so now it'd be kind of fun to flip the script and be gay. Why? Wait, I missed why pasta's going in the handbag.
Because Sweater is being destroyed because Jean-Claude Van Damme is just too fucking sexy.
Classic hijinks.
Wow, Phoebe is so you. She just asked why it was happening. I gotta say, the Friends studio audience is really easy. These folks, they just want to laugh at anything. I do kind of miss the studio audience. Am I crazy for that? I wish more shows were just like little plays.
I don't miss studio audiences because they always stressed me out as a kid. I was like, they're laughing at things that I don't.
How are they doing scene transitions?
Well, I just didn't understand how, like, I was like, things aren't funny, but they're laughing anyway. They're laughing at the things that I don't want to laugh at, and then I'm laughing at things that don't have a laugh in the background. It just made me feel very other. I didn't feel part of.
You feel outside, right? I wouldn't want to be a part of any studio audience that would have me as a member. Chandler, just come out of the bathroom. Come on out. Come on out. Let me see. Wouldn't it be crazy if Chandler wore women's underwear?
I know that this series is famously bad about trans stuff.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes. Just show us his ass. Come on.
I feel like I still have dreams like
This is wacky.
where I'm accidentally naked in different public settings. Yeah.
But you like it. You're doing it on purpose.
No, not in the dreams.
Aw, bummer.
Yeah, I definitely have stress dreams about being naked in public.
About Joey Tribbiani seeing you in underpants. And the studio audience is laughing at you, and your old fears, your old phobias come roaring back.
What's weird is, like, I'm actually more of an exhibitionist, so, like, when it's on my terms, I would love to be naked in public settings.
Yeah.
But then I have fears of it happening.
Context is so important.
Yeah, exactly. Monkey.
Honestly glad we did these episodes of Friends this way, because I don't think if we watched this and, like, talked about it, it would be interesting or good.
I wouldn't remember any of the plot.
No way. I guess there must be, like, Friends episode by episode recap podcasts, but what are they talking about on that show?
What do we do with the dead air? Do we just assume people are listening along? How does...
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just like there's a little second of dead air. I listen to now I'm an insane person. Don't do anything that I do, but my favorite show has a bonus feed where they do commentaries, and I just listen to them. Was listening to one going to the library earlier.
Oh, monkey. Bye-bye.
Monkey. I love monkeys, but you should never have a monkey as a pet. They're not built for it.
No, in about a minute, my automatic cat feeder is going to feed my cat, which is pretty exciting. I now get video surveillance of my cat eating, and it tells me when there's movement. And that is the end.
Wow.
Oh, wait.
And that was Friends. Is there a
There,
post-credit?
wait,
Yeah.
Oh, it cut off the end. All
Yeah, I
right.
had to press X. Oh, I'm still watching this great scene.
Well, that was that. And we did it. And you can't
How was that?
and you
Hey,
can't-
audience,
and you
do you
can't-
want us to
You can't say we didn't
do
do
this
it.
again?
Yeah.
Can't say we didn't do it. Would audience? Did you like this? Was this good for you? Let us know. And yeah, if you're looking for a third, DM Cat Scott, Cat Scott online. And now Friends is in my Max history. You've taken over my ex's profile on my Max subscription.
Go to the profile.
You know, 2024 is for healing, for progress.
Go to the profile. Go. See what I did. Look at my new brand.
Okay. Wait. Grave of X's. Oh, and you put Barbie on there.
Weird Barbie.
You put weird Barbie.
Something that we didn't culturally talk enough about when talking about the Barbie movie was Weird Barbie.
Was Weird Barbie. You know, I love Kate McKinnon. It was kind of a fun borderline cameo. I just, you know, it just wasn't for me a lot of meat on those bones.
No.
There wasn't really like a real meaty stew. It's kind of like the show Friends. It was like, yeah, it was kind of fun. You know, it was fun when I was watching it, but I have nothing to say in the aftermath. That was 2 episodes of Friends, all right.
Friends has a specific sense of humor. It's that sitcom sense of humor where you're like, this just doesn't translate in real life. You can't like deliver things this way. But then you
No.
laugh when it's a sitcom. Very confusing. Has always confused my brain. It makes me feel like I'm in that neurodivergent umbrella where I start leaning towards autistic is when I watch things like this. I'm like, perceiving human interaction. This is that I don't understand. Not computing.
Yeah. As far as Revenge of My Enemies goes, there's no specific instances that I'm looking for big payback for. I just kind of want everyone who's ever spurned me romantically or in a friendship setting to look upon my future successes with ire and anger. That's really just sort of more of a general umbrella. I want everyone who's ever spurned me romantically to go, damn it. That's what I want.
Yeah, I was like crying earlier today about the state of my work and success and what it means for me, and if I never find popular success, and that's okay, and coming to terms with it and grieving those identities and things. Because one thing that's nice about about fame is having that, you know, my song Thank You Next is going to play everywhere you go in public. You can't escape it, and this is about you. My like Taylor Swift song, like about this ex,
Dear John.
it's going to play all these places, and you know it's about you,
Yeah.
and you can't escape it. This movie is going to be a cultural touchstone for queer people, and it's about you, and you can't escape it, and people are going to bring it up in conversations all the time. Like, that is a good revenge feeling, but I don't think it actually really ultimately does anything, but it is a fantasy.
No, it's a hollow fantasy at best, but a fantasy nonetheless. And so that's what I want. I also want everyone in the world to look at all the times that I've suffered and go like, damn, he's really suffered. He deserves a cookie. And that's a flaw of mine. That's something that I
I'm with
need
you.
to address.
Some days I'd be like, yeah, that's a little self-indulgent, but I'm in that with you today specifically. I need a
Amazing.
fucking cookie to get out of this bed, because
I need a cookie, and I need everyone to go, damn, this guy's had it hard. Here's a
yeah.
damn gingerbread cookie. Here's a ginger snap, you know?
Yeah, I need a raise. I need a raise that says you're smart and people notice, you know?
And people talk about it when you're not around, how smart you are. They notice and they care.
That's fine. They can talk. Where are my cash and prizes? I'm going to stop bitching soon.
Yeah.
But where are they?
No,
Let's
it's okay.
manifest
It's all
them.
good.
2024, we're manifesting.
2024.
La la la. I had COVID. You had Eat, Pray, Love. Let's get some better vibes going collectively.
I do think a fun bit for the Eat, Pray, Love episode would be if we went on a brief Eat, Pray, Love sojourn, and then
We should meet up in a city and like eat, pray, love, but pick something like affordable and random, like
yeah,
Tennessee.
It's not a bad idea.
Or like North Carolina.
Oh, Tennessee. Yeah. What if we went to Nashville? What if we
never
Eat, Pray,
been to-
Love did
I've
Nashville?
never been to Nashville. That would actually be so funny. We brought a Zoom mic around.
Not a bad idea.
We bring a Zoom mic and we just like talk. We go to like different bars.
We Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah, we eat, pray, love. Eat, pray, love Nashville.
That's not a bad idea.
Okay, y'all.
Pray, love.
If you wanna pay for
That's
our
so
yearly
funny.
subscription that Kevin pays for, that I'm still in debt to, please donate to Kevin's Patreon. That if you already are doing that, that means you get to listen to this a week early. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Aren't you so lucky?
I'm Kat Scott, use they them pronouns, famously on and off Instagram, intermittently. Would love to start an OnlyFans. Just like give money, give generously, because we can do some crazy stuff if we had the money to do it. And we love to do things.
We could Eat, Pray, Love Nashville.
We could Eat, Pray, Love Nashville. We're currently an openly bi-coastal friendship and like could really use some unification, and unification requires dollars. So
It sure does. It sure does. Yeah, I'm TV's Kevin Lanigan everywhere. Movies for Babies is the other monthly movie show that I do. And you can support not only this show, not only get episodes early, but you can support all this other shit that I'm doing, all the film projects that are in various stages of post-production, my yearly sojourn out to Salt Lake City to film a bunch of shit in secret. All that stuff. Patreon.com/TV's Kevin
Did you already
is
do
the best
that?
way. Also, We've done it twice, and I assume I'm doing it again later this year.
Okay.
And
love to meet you this fall.
another thing, we never bring it up on this show. Wherever you are listening to this, there's probably a way to rate and review us. You should just do that.
Yeah.
It's very easy.
Yeah.
Just give us 5 stars or leave us a nice review. If you don't know what to say, you can just say what I'm about to say.
Just say 5-star no homo.
Hello, 5-star no homo. That's what you say, and we'll know that the friends sent you. Ross, Rachel, Phoebe, and the rest.
You know, those white friends of the 90s.
My favorite white friends. Favorite white friends. Oh, when they
cis,
reboot
straight
Friends and there's not white people in it. How have they not rebooted Friends? Either with the
let's
original
not-
Friends or like a Gossip Girl reboot situation?
Yeah, we don't need to. That's a whole other thing. That's a whole.
We don't need
other
to put
thing.
that curse into the universe.
I
We
just
don't-
mean like that is something that we talk all the way through. We kind of run each option out if we start talking about that, because it could go so wrong. It could be so fun. It could be so in the middle. It could be so many things.
I just feel like I guess there's one very key problem with trying to reboot the original 6 Friends at this moment.
Hologram?
But I'm just surprised that we never did it. We did every other popular show from around that time, but we've never tried to reboot Friends. I don't know. Anyway, you missed that boat. Hollywood executives, you had your shot.
I'm sure
you
it's
missed
in
it.
the works. I'm sure it's in conversation. I'm sure it's always in conversation. And they're just trying to figure out what the right one is, because there's...
Yeah, I guess every call at NBC Universal, it's brought up in some way. Make
Oh.
it 1996 again through science or magic.
What was that called? Were you there during my PowerPoint birthday where a friend's
Part of it.
sister did the reality TV show, like, repeats? Like, the ones that they always get? That was really interesting to me. The pitches that
That's
they always
interesting.
get.
That might have been the one that I ducked out during because it
Okay.
was late and I realized I wasn't going to present mine. So
I'll look-
I might have
yeah.
logged off at that point.
I'll look for a PDF of it, but it was basically the pitches that come around all the time that are like, it's this, and for reality TV they're like Squid Games but real, and then they did that. But
Right. And then they did that. They did that real one. Anyway, speaking of my PowerPoint, listeners be on the lookout for that bonus episode at some point when I give Cat Scott my PowerPoint that I didn't give at Cat Scott's birthday. And yeah, what are we doing next time? That's a good question because I have thoughts and Kat and I need to figure it out. But stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Don't-
Stay gay. Go gay if you haven't. And
Don't touch that dial.
Don't. Yeah. Beep boop.
Don't touch that dial unless the dial is on the Kinsey scale, in which case, jack that thing gay.
And this is Kevin's song about Julia Roberts in the show Friends. 3, 2.
Boom, 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 boom. I wish I had friends.
I like it already.
Boom, 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 boom. Friends to the end. Boom, boom, boom. They dragged down my drawers in middle school. Now I'm trying to make Chandler the fool. Here I come. Here I come. Julia's gonna have all the fun. Most watched episode, Friends of all time. Biggest ratings in the history of the show. Football is very popular. I was not very popular because he dragged down my pants. Everyone saw my pants on the ground when they saw my underpants on, and that was it. Nothing else. Put me up like the elf on the shelf. Elf on a shelf. Elf on a shelf. Elf on a shelf.
It is kind of wild that was the highly rated.
It's just because
I don't
football's
really
very
see it.
popular. It's just literally because it was on after the Super Bowl.
Word.
America love football.
Go sports.
Are you ready for some
Thanks,
football?
Taylor Swift, for bringing football back.
Thank you. Yeah, the Chiefs are gonna win, and it's there. No one will be able to deny it. There's no other statistic or factor.
It's going to be fun to be in Missouri, to be from
Yeah.
Missouri this
Yeah.
year. Yeah. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, this.
Huge. Gone Girl. It's happening for real now. I have a pitch for a reality show. It's Gone Girl, but it's real.
But
she's
real,
really
and
doing
It's she's really torturing her husband.
She's really torturing her husband. She's really shoving that wine bottle up there.
I've actually been trying to pull a. Now I know this. I'm trying
A
to pull
Gone
a
Girl?
Gone Girl. Yeah.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
Tastes like you, but sweeter.
Please tell your friends about this show.
That was quite a show. Very entertaining.
This has been a Talkback Podcast.